Hey guys, this time I'm going to be casting Duke of Dangle versus Horkan. Duke and I, or Dangle and I don't know what he prefers to be called, we're trying out, oh, spoiler, sorry, that should default to off. Anyways, we are trying out the new group replay feature, so that's pretty cool. So in our lower left we've got Duke of Dangle, in our upper right we've got Horkan. So he's a Platinum Zerg. I don't know the rating of our Terran opponent, but Duke of Dangle's trying to kind of get the hang of the Swarmhost play. So we're going to be giving that a try. And actually, this replay is lagging a bit. Now it's done. Okay. Hopefully that's over with. Let me turn off this audio a bit. Alright. So it looks like we've got an 11 overpool from Duke. At least that's what I suspect this is building up to. Yeah, there's the Overlord. So, versus Terran, this has its strengths and weaknesses. I would say generally you're better off with Hatch first. The biggest issue is 11 Overpools actually really has a hard time with Reapers. And so, while you're going to be a little stronger against Marine openings, you're going to be so much weaker against Reaper openings. And also, you're not going to be able to actually do much against Command Center first. Believe it or not, they will actually be able to get a couple Marines out in time. So he's watching this with me, and it looks like what's actually going on is because we're doing the group replay, we get that Heart of the Swarm server lag, even though we're watching a replay, because it is still maintaining a connection between the two of us. So that's probably the deal, and it's late at night, and the servers, for whatever reason, are always really rough at night. Alright, so we've got another extractor trick going up to 19. This is looking a lot like actually how I opened ZVP. So, Duke watches my stream a lot, and he said he's been trying to kind of emulate some of that stuff, so that looks like where this is maybe coming from. Now versus Terran, you know, again, this is going to be kind of rough. I don't expect these Lings to do too terribly much damage, but then again, things are a little different here at this MMR. You know, where a Master or Grandmaster player is going to have some SCVs escorting this Marine once they have SCV scouted, which this Terran player also did not do. In this case, we've got a Platinum player who has a Marine out, and it looks like some damage might be done here. This second Marine is going to spawn, but it isn't quite going to be in time to save his buddy. Duke actually pulled back there, a little bit of a, well, pretty normal reaction actually as a Zerg player. When you realize your Zerglings are getting shot up, your first response is typically to pull them back so that you don't lose them too quickly. But that was a case where he wanted to actually stay in range. Now he's going straight for this supply depot, and Duke, actually, when you watch this, that's one thing that you may want to look over. You did really nothing to that supply depot, because you're not going to probably ever reach a point in this game where it's going to start burning, so that damage might as well not have occurred. What you actually could have done is gone up and started some harassment up at the SCV line. I don't know. Let's take a look at the APM. Whoa, rocking 200 average APM. Holy hell, pretty good at Platinum. So yeah, I'm guessing if that's decent, you know, actually effective APM, you could have gone up into the mineral line and maybe gotten a couple SCVs with those Zerglings. But I mean, you did get two of them out, so it's not too bad of a deal there either. All right, we've got two extractors going up for Duke. So far, the injection's looking pretty clean, so that's good. It's been a while since I've done a cast of someone else's games, so it's entirely possible that Platinum is looking very different than it used to. I'm used to seeing, you know, gold and Platinum players missing their first few injects right away. Got a bit of a supply block at 36, so it's going to be cleaned up here. Let's look at the production tab just about. So it's not too terrible of a supply block. That 36 is always one you want to try and avoid, and it's actually probably the most common. 28. Everyone seems to do pretty well at skipping or at avoiding, but the man, that is so distracting. That new larva sound, that new egg sound. Anyways, they do pretty well at the 28, but the 36, even myself included, especially if I'm rusty, you can tell if I haven't played in a while because I'll hit that 36 for a couple straight games until I'm back into it and feeling comfortable. So if there's one thing that you can do that just a very small improvement that'll change everything, Duke, it's just skipping that 36 supply block. Now we've got another at 52. It's not going to be quite as impactful, but even that as well. That's that's the kind of thing that'll impact all the rest of your gameplay. And a supply block at 36 may mean that you max out 4 minutes later. Believe it or not, it just has such a huge effect because it means you make drones slower, which means then your next drone cycle is slower because you have less resources, which means you take your third slower, and it's just everything happens at a different time than it should. So if there's one thing thus far that I can see that really could use improving, it's skipping those early supply blocks. Those are hugely impactful. The other is I don't know if I would stick with the 11 overpool. If you're kind of at the stage in your gameplay where you'd like to just use one build for one opening build for all matchups, 11 overpool is very consistent. So it's not unheard of for someone to go up into Diamond or Low Masters with nothing but 11 overpool. If that's kind of where your head's at, then rock on. But if you're ever wanting to branch out and use something else for your ZBT, I highly recommend 15 hatch or 14 hatch 15 pool. Either one is really good. Alright, so we've got the infestation pit and Hydra Den going down. This is good. Now the one thing I want to see here, let's take a look at Duke's view here. Yeah, so he's not getting much vision here. We don't really know if we're mech bio or what we're up against, and that really changes things a lot, especially if you're going into Swarmhost, which it looks like is the case. So this really needs to be an overseer, moving up along the edges and getting an idea of what this tech is. The other thing is we've got a lot of overlords at home here. Really would like to see these camping out at the third, camping out at the pocket third as well, making sure that we block expansion for as long as possible since we are playing low economy here. Let's see where we're at on that note. Actually pretty decent economy for Duke, especially given those earlier supply blocks. So we got 54 drones versus 49 SCVs. That's fine. If he's going into Swarmhost, really he's not going to want to get much higher than 60 to 65 drones anyways throughout the course of the game. Ooh, that is cool. Turned up my graphics and there's a little flashlight on the Widow Mines. That is awesome. A little bit of attention to detail on Blizzard's part. Although I really got to wonder just how much a little robot needs a flashlight, so maybe the Terran need to rethink that. Anyways, so what do we got here? We've got just about finished on Locust Life. Now let's see where production's at. Alright, Swarmhost just starting up. That's fine. That's very good. Now, had the Overseer gotten in and seen all these barracks, I would have liked to have seen 2 or 3 Infestors before the Swarmhost, even before the Locust Life. I've been kind of starting to get in the habit of dumping all my gas that's built up into 3 to 4 Infestors and then going into the actual Swarmhost play, just because it's so easy to just automatically lose to certain bio timings when your Swarmhosts are just starting to pop out. And initially you're only going to have 4 to 6 Swarmhosts and it's just not going to be enough. But 4 to 6 Swarmhosts with 4 Infestors, 1 fungal each, that's a whole different story. Now, the other thing is, with where you're not going to be getting any more Infestors throughout the course of the game, once you're up to Viper, you're going to be better off with Vipers. You don't want to get pathogen glands. You actually just want to go straight into Infestors. And you're actually going to get to 75 energy quicker, believe it or not. You're going to get Infestors with 75 energy quicker if you spawn them immediately, versus if you wait for pathogen glands to hit whatever it is, 60-70%, and then spawn them. It comes out a little bit quicker. So, and there's no need to spend that 150 gas, 150 minerals then, if you're never going to make them again. It actually is a waste. So, just a little fun fact. Good move up here. Now, I would like to see some Overlords drop and creep here so that these Queens aren't crawling. Now, we've got... Okay, good. Okay, now the one thing here, bit of a miss micro. The other thing is, these Swarmhosts already need to... And actually, let's... Oh, I can't pause this. Okay. Well, I'll just try and... The one thing I wanted to point out is these Swarmhosts actually should have initially first burrowed up here, tossed out some locusts. That's going to give you some eyes as to what's coming up, so that you're not walking into those Widow Mines. And then here's the other issue. You're already way up in their face, and yeah, this is not so good. You're trading now. Never want to be trading. So good move pulling away. You at least get out some of the Swarmhosts, but really I would have liked to have seen this, you know, something where you're still hanging out up here or at the lowest down there after a couple spawns, so that you've already had a chance to wear them down a bit, because you're really, Actually, you're a bit behind on economy as well, but you know that's fine if you were keeping up your mass on Swarmhost. The other thing is, imagine if you had a few infestors with this still. Kind of like what I was talking about before. Don't go directly into those Swarmhosts. You want to first grab the infestors so that you can prevent them from clumping up like this. Because, I mean, that's one fungal growth right there, maybe two, for the Marauders. But instead, I mean, you're in this situation where you're just not able to build up a massive Swarmhost because of a combination of just some missteps getting into range up there, and then also not having those infestors to cover for them. So I really do feel that a few infestors are going to be mandatory anytime the opponent has bio. At least until you've got Viper out. Then things change quite a bit. On the upside, Duke actually keeping the Swarmhost count really healthy given the losses he's taken, so that's good. The only downside is there's no supporting units, and this is too close again. Oh, this is going to be really bloody. Yep, that's kind of the only choice at that point. Cut your losses and try and trade. Now, optimally, he should be unburrowing right now. Okay, he had a split second. Duke had a split second there, right after those locusts popped, where he could unburrow and get a good chunk of those Swarmhosts out. If the opponent then tries to stim and run past the locusts, then he's going to go ahead and take a ton of free hits to those locusts. Alright, so at this point it's looking pretty grim. Duke is doing pretty well on upgrades. Let's see if we've got 2-2 started. Where is those Evos? Okay, no 2-2 started. Given the situation that his army has just been kind of teetering on non-existent at this point. That's understandable. When you're in a rough spot, you kind of tend to forego upgrades and just try to stay alive. So yeah, that's, I mean, combination of not having the infestors and positional issues are really what kept this game from going a lot better.
Game paused.
Oh, we got a pause. I think that might mean the game's over. Let's take a look. No, it's not. It's about over. Duke's got the controls here, so it's up to him where he wants to take it. We're just trying out this feature. But yeah, so mostly this is just issues with the Swarmhost not being staggered well enough. You know, there's a few points there that he should have had Locust just kind of running up and getting free hits. And that's also going to help him pinpoint where those Widow Mines are so that he's not move commanding into them like he did there at the start. Took a lot of free damage from those Widow Mines. At this point, without Banelings or Infestors, I don't see this Bio Ball ever being broken. There's just no way around it, especially with a upgrade deficiency, and it looks like that's game. Alright, so Duke, thanks for sharing the game with us. I really appreciate it. I'll go ahead and upload this to YouTube, and to anyone watching on YouTube, thanks a bunch for watching. If you'd like your replay cast, feel free to email it to Rekstarcraft@hotmail.com, and I'll be happy to take a look at it. Okay, thanks a bunch.